Hey, welcome to Saturdays. Gary Fetta, owner, founder, and CEO of Wealth Dynamics. Hope you guys are having a great day today. We're tuning in every Saturday. We've been doing these courses, guys, every week for like the last year. The last 4 or 5 years. And so if this is your first time watching, I want to introduce myself. I'm Jerry Fetta. I'm the owner, founder, and CEO of Wealth Dynamics. And my whole intention, my whole purpose is to help people gain financial education so they can build solvency in their lives. Solvency, guys, it means that your income is greater than your expenses. It means you own more than you owe, right? It means that you're credit worthy. It means that you have your liabilities properly protected and you're not ever going to go backwards, right? Someone that's insolvent, they're currently going backwards with their finances. So I want to get you in a position where you're going forwards, and that's where then you're building greater levels of financial freedom. Right. And the average American right now is insolvent. 8 out of 10 people are paycheck to paycheck. That means 80% of America, just on that point, is insolvent. Right. The average person does not have 6 months of reserves saved up. The average person has consumer debts that outweigh their savings and assets. That's insolvent. The average person doesn't have great credit. That's insolvent. Right. They're not properly protected. That's a degree of insolvency. Right. So I want to talk to you today as you're watching this webinar about how do we gain financial progress and how do we do it at the greatest rate possible? Okay, because I think everyone here that's watching, whether you're watching on Zoom, whether you're watching on Facebook, whether you're watching on YouTube, you're watching on video, you're watching on replay, it doesn't matter. I think anyone that's watching here today has the desire to gain greater financial freedom in life, right? To not have the obligation of trading time for money, to not think about, should I do this based on whether I can afford it? Right? Like I want you to just before we get started, as a quick exercise, I want you to think of something in your life right now that's ideal, right? Whether that be the food that you eat, the house that you live in, the car that you drive, the places you travel, the activities that you do. I want you to think of like, what does your ideal scene look like? Right? Let's take travel, for example. Okay, let's say I want to travel to Europe. Okay, my ideal scene is I don't want to be stuck in a tiny little bench seat. I don't want to feel like I need a chiropractic adjustment at the end of the flight, right? So that means I want to travel first class, right? Now, when I think of that, my thought is, okay, good, what do I need to do to make that happen? If I'm thinking first class and immediately I'm like, oh man, that's expensive, then that means to that degree, I need to build greater wealth, right? What about something as simple as eating organic? Right? When I go shopping, do I look at the price tag and compare if I buy non-organic versus organic, which one should I do based on what I can afford? That's how most people shop, right? I've done that before too. Or, wanting to help somebody and then thinking about, do I have the money to afford that? So these are all things that I don't believe are how we're meant to live. I don't think we should be limited to that, but we are. In the current system, we have jobs, we have incomes, we trade our time for money, and what we have with that money, how much we have, what we do with it, how we grow it, really dictates to us our freedoms in life, our choices, right? So this is not all about capitalism and make money for the sake of money and all this stuff that you hear on social media and the news. That's all false, right? Like when I meet wealthy people, that's not how they are. Very few of them are that way. Most of them are very value-oriented individuals. They've helped people to get where they're at. They're doing good things out there in the world, right? And so when I think about, okay, if I get a group of good people and I help them build their wealth, and I help them achieve greater financial freedom, and I help them get the information to equip them to teach others to do the same, what does that do for our world and for our planet? When we have a bunch of abundance-minded people, good people with money who have control and power and options and are the decision makers in society, I think that equates to a better society. Right. And so that's the basis of the conversation I want to have with you today. Now, before we jump into it, I do want to cover a couple of ground points. First one being, I want you, as you're watching, to have a purpose for being here. If you don't have a reason to be here, it's going to be very hard for you to learn and apply anything. Right. All through high school, I got C average grades, not because I was dumb, not because I was lazy. It was because I didn't know why I was learning any of this stuff. I pass a test, I get a great grade, I get a straight A, and then they give me another one, and they still didn't tell me why I took the first one. So finally, I'm like, why am I doing this? I'm done. I quit. When people quit on money, it's because they didn't have a purpose first. They didn't have a reason. We were never taught what to do with the money. Think about it. You went to school, you got good grades. So why? You could go to college and get more good grades. So why? So you could get a diploma. So why? You could get a job and earn good income, earn money. Okay, and then no one ever said, here's what you do with the money. right? Like, what if they started with that first? How different would that have been for us as a kid, a young adult, an adult? You're learning about, hey, you're going to earn this thing called money. Here's what you should do with it. It's a tool. You can use it to change your life and help people. This is why you earn it. Now I'm much more engaged and interested in getting that. How do I earn more of that? That's a good thing. How do I get more of that stuff? I'm having a good experience with it. I want to get more. Right? Like we do this with food. You eat something good and you want more because you understand it was good. You understood you're supposed to eat it. Right? So if we don't understand what are we using money for, what's our purpose with it, it's very hard to learn. And that starts today. So think for a minute, what's my purpose for being here? The second thing is I want to get rid of the idea that money's complicated. It can't be learned about. It's not true. That's false. Money is simple. It's been made complicated by institutions so that we feel like we need them in our lives. And so we get rid of that idea that it's complicated and we make it what it is, which is simple and easy, then we can start actually winning with money. But if the entire time I tell myself the story, oh, this is complicated, I can't understand this, it's unbelievable, it's too sophisticated, I need a financial advisor or a banker or a CFP or a CPA or all these different letters behind people's names in order to do the money thing, then yeah, I'm not going to learn about it. Right? It's like telling somebody like, hey, you're not capable of exercising and then telling them to go to the gym. Do you really think they're going to go to the gym now? And if they do you really think they're going to have the most engaged workout they could have? No, the entire time they're believing, oh, I'm not cut out for this. Right? So that's the mindset we got to start with. The second one is we have to get rid of the know-it-alls. Okay, there are no people out there that know everything. That doesn't exist. There's no pinnacle on knowledge where you reach the top and you've never got to learn anything again. Most stuff you need to hear more than once, right? So this is called sacred account. Saturday, every week we talk about the sacred account. That is the thing we address. And I'll go over what the sacred account is here as well. Okay, so getting rid of the know-it-all. I've heard this, I know this. We want that off the table. Okay, and then finally, I do want to cover, this is a live communication between me and you, right? So I'm wearing the hat of a teacher right now. And my job is to communicate in a way that's simple, true, and applicable for you when it comes to your finances and it comes to building wealth, right? Your hat as a student is obviously to like do all the things I just mentioned, listen, have a purpose, be open to learning, not thinking you know it all, not thinking you can't learn, but also to let me know, give me feedback on, I have this question, I want to focus on this, or I want to learn about that, right? So use the chat here is my point. There's a chat. If you're on Zoom, you can use the chat, you can comment and let me know what your questions are. A lot of times I do like to turn on your mic and we can actually talk in real time on air and go over your questions that way. And same thing on Facebook. If you're on Facebook and then if you're watching afterwards and it's not live, we check our comments. Leave a comment, let us know what you think, let us know your questions, and we'll definitely get back with you. And then finally, two things that I want to make available and make sure you know, actually three of them today, okay? So the first one is, if you are watching this, one of my main purposes is to help you get a free copy of my book. Okay, and the reason why I want to help you get a free copy of my book is because this is a starting point. The webinar is only going to cover so much, right? And so I want you to take the information you've gotten from the webinar and I want you to win with it in real life. Like I can now apply this and I can actually like start using it, right? And so that's going to start with getting further education, right? So if you're watching this right now and you have not gotten a copy of my book, Blueprint to Financial Freedom, I want to make an offer for you. You can get the book for free. You just cover your own shipping. If you go to jerryfetta.com/B2F promo. Again, that's jerryfetta.com/B2F promo. Okay. This book is going to take you through literally everything you need to do in order, in sequence to start winning with your finances right now. Okay. I wrote it based on over 10 years of research and real world application of myself, learning how to build wealth, studying top 1%ers, reading the biographies of people like JP Morgan and Andrew Carnegie and the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, these types of individuals and families, and learning what did they do in real life, not what did social media say they did, not what did Elon Musk's Twitter feed say to do, not what did they say on Reddit, what did wealthy people actually do? I wanted to study old, dead, successful people, because I can see the entire scope and the entire story, and then I can start to apply real stuff, right? So one of the things you'll know about me, I don't really study anyone that's still alive. If someone's still living, they can still screw it up. There's still time, right? And so when I study and I learn from people that are old, dead, and successful. And so when I'm teaching you, it's not my stuff that I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you, this is what I have learned from studying old, dead, and successful people and applying what they do financially. And that's what this book is full of. Okay, so I did the work for a decade plus so that you didn't have to. I put it in a book so that you could get it easily, because it wasn't easy for me to do. I had to track down so many different sources and books and tapes and videos and this and that in order to get the answers and put it all in one location, because it didn't exist in one location. Right, so this is a financial system and strategy. It's not just a product. It's not like you go to your financial advisor and you stick the money in the IRA and hope when you turn 60, you've got enough there to die before it all runs out. It's not that program either. Right, this is a system to get financially independent. It's a step-by-step guide, just like it says here, toward achieving passive income that exceeds savings, expenses, and taxes. That's what this is all about, right? So if you're watching, I want to make sure grab the book if you've not gotten a copy. Again, go to jerryfetta.com/B2F promo, and I will be bringing this back up throughout the webinar today. And then the second thing is, my team is here to help you schedule a free appointment. So this is for everybody. If you're a client, we want to schedule an appointment with you today. If you're not a client, we want to schedule an appointment with you today. Okay, why is that? The reason why is the appointment is going to help you get practical help. Okay, if you're a client, we want to service you. That's one of our jobs, is to provide you with a great level of service and help you make progress. We're going to talk today about the importance of speed with using the sacred account strategy. And then if you're not a client, same thing. We can't help you. We believe we added no value if you don't either buy the book or do an appointment today. Right? Until that happens, we've added no value. We haven't helped you yet. Did we give you information today? Sure, but that's not going to help you, right? Knowledge isn't power. Knowledge applied correctly is power. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're giving you the knowledge and then we're helping you apply it correctly so that you have power with your finances. Okay, power means I'm able to have control over my area financially. Like, what goes on is what I want to have happen. There's not things happening in my financial world that I don't want happening and aren't in my control. There's not things going on that aren't up to me. I have full control. That's power. Right? And so I want to flow you power today by getting you scheduled for an appointment. So you're going to be getting messages from 1 or 2 people. You'll get a message from Joe on my team. Okay, so Joe works with me directly. He's a personal teammate of mine, and he'll be reaching out to either help you get the book or to help you schedule an appointment. Okay, the second person you're going to hear from today is actually a third one too. You're going to hear from Rodrigo and also from Brianna Shaw. They're both on my team. I just made Brianna a panelist so she can message you as well. And these guys, they're trying to set an appointment with you. Okay, an appointment to answer your questions and help you. It's free. It does not cost you anything. It's not a hard sales pitch or anything weird like that. You're watching the webinar. And so we want to make sure that you are empowered to actually sit down and talk with someone about how to apply what you're learning. Right? Because this information doesn't get done by osmosis. Someone has to be there doing it. And then you want to have someone helping. You want to have someone that's a professional. Right? So this is all stuff we want to get done with you today. We want to give you a great webinar. We want to make sure you get the book. We want to make sure you schedule. And we want to make sure that you're making progress with your finances. Okay, like it's got to be, before I even get started, I'm gonna cat out of the bag, guys. It's got to be time for you to stop not hitting your financial goals, to stop and be done with financial failure, to be done losing money, to be done not saving enough, to be done not building progress. Right? And if you're building progress, why aren't you building it faster? Right? Like we've got to quit having these reasons that it's okay to be mediocre with finances. The people that have money are out there running the show in the world. Right? That's where the decisions are made. That's why stuff gets done, is individuals that have money do it. Right? And so I'm tired of watching the wrong people have the money. I'm tired of seeing individuals that shouldn't have the money, but they do because no one else is out there getting it. And that's the only reason why. Okay, so I know you're good people. I want you to have financial success because I want to see good people running stuff. I want to see people that actually have a desire to help, being in control and making the world a better place with finances, because money is a resource. Right. So before I get onto another tangent here, I'm going to go ahead and jump into our webinar today. Okay, so this is about the sacred account and it's about speed. Okay, it's about using speed. And I'm going to draw a diagram for you in a second. But first, I want to go over what the sacred account is. So if you're watching this, you're not familiar with the sacred account. Okay, so the sacred account is a form of high early cash value dividend paying whole life insurance. I'm going to go ahead and put this up on the whiteboard so that you can see it. High early cash value dividend paying whole life insurance. Okay, so this is kind of like using a savings account, but way better. Right, we all save money right now, or some of us don't maybe, but if we are, usually people save money on one of three places. They're going to save it with the bank, they're going to save it with Wall Street, or they're going to save it with the IRS in the form of a tax refund. Right now, that's the average place to save. The average place to save doesn't build wealth. If it did, people would be wealthy. Right now, the statistics show only about 1% of people are considered, wealthy. Like the rest of them are in the middle class, the lower class. Right? 1% might sound like a small number, but what's 1% of 330 million people? This 3.3 million. That's a very large number. There's 3.3 million people that have it figured out in this country. It's not like there's 10 people running everything that know all of the info and everyone else is being kept out of the loop. No, there's 3.3 million people. You put them all in a stadium, that's pretty big. Right? Like that's a lot. So there's a lot of people that are doing the right things. And one of the right things that they're doing is they're not putting money in banks, Wall Street, and tax refunds with the IRS. Right? So I was a financial advisor and I was teaching people, this was, in the last 10 years ago, maybe, teaching people, put money in your retirement account, save till you're 60, pull it out, put money in your banks, do all this stuff that we're taught, right? We get taught this. Now, there's a difference between teaching and being marketed to. We're being marketed to with these financial products. That's why I call them retail financial products. It's like going to McDonald's for your money, right? Nobody goes to McDonald's because it's a good decision. Nobody goes to McDonald's because it's healthy. Nobody goes to McDonald's because it's the best food. They go to McDonald's for one reason: marketing. McDonald's spends billions of dollars making sure that you should eat there. And they have celebrities telling you why you should eat there. And they have cute little commercials and jingles, and they're funding the Olympics and all this different stuff to be present and visible so that you should go there. And so what happens? You drive by McDonald's, there's a line of cars in the drive-thru every day of people that are making a decision that's actually bad for them. Like they're paying money to do something that's bad for them because marketing and advertising conditions someone into thinking that. The same exact mechanism is why somebody gives their money to a bank, why someone gives their money to Wall Street, why someone does a tax refund. Right? Think about it. We're heading into tax season. What commercials are you going to see soon? You're going to see H&R Block to celebrate and get the biggest refund possible. What if you just filed your taxes correctly, didn't overpay, and you kept the money all year and made money with it instead of giving too much to the IRS so they can give it back to you at the end of the year after having paid you zero interest and then having you celebrate that you're getting a refund? That's not good. Right? So we have to get rid of this middle class mindset of being marketed to and told by large corporations what the right idea is and what decisions to make strictly because they spend a bunch of money behind promotional campaigns to control how we think and behave. Right? That's the first step. Think for yourself, guys. If you're watching this and you're skeptical, you're like, I don't know what the sacred account is. I haven't started. How come more people aren't doing it? Think for your damn self. Right? Like quit looking at what everyone else is doing and look at what's happening. So here's how the sacred account works. Okay, so the first thing is it's the safest place I can put money. It's a store of value, which means it's a savings vehicle. It's not an investment. It's not an income machine. It's a savings vehicle. I'm going to park money here and accumulate that money until I'm ready to use it for something else. Right? So my options here are what? I could put money in a bank. Okay, if the bank, they're paying me 0.01%. They're loaning my money out to other people. They're investing my money and they're paying me nothing. You don't get rich saving money in a bank, right? Or I can put it with Wall Street. Wall Street, the only guarantee is fees. Fees and criminality. Like those are the two consistencies with Wall Street. Right? So, and when I put it with Wall Street, usually it's in a retirement account that I can't use till I'm 60. So I've now mortgaged off my future for the next 30 years of my life just because Wall Street said to. Or I can overpay on my taxes and get a tax refund of a few $1,000s each year, which is worse than the bank because at least with the bank, I can withdraw that money today and they're going to at least pay me some interest. Right? So those are three terrible places to save. And so we have to ask ourselves, why don't people save more? The savings rates in this country are dismal. Right? Americans do not save money. It's not something that we're good at. Now, we have one of the highest incomes in the world. We're a very prosperous nation. Why don't we save more? Okay, and I would try and answer this question with, because people lack financial education. No, I have an 11-year-old godson that understands saving. I didn't have to explain it to him. He on his own was like, I want this. I don't have enough money for it. So I'm going to keep my money and keep it up and build it until I'm ready to buy the thing. I didn't teach him that. He just came to that conclusion. Right? If you were in the woods lost and you only had so much food, you would be like, I should save my food so I don't die. Right? So it's not that we're stupid and lazy and we don't know how to save. Like you will naturally come to the solution of I should save for one of two reasons. You have somewhere to save and you have a reason to. Right? Like if I like back to the food thing, I had no refrigerator and I was like, no, I had no prediction that I was going to need food tomorrow. Yeah, I might eat all the food and not save it. Right? Because I don't know where I'm going to put it and it's going to spoil anyways because I'm not putting it in the right place and I don't know what I'm going to use it for. But as soon as I solve those two things, I know what I'm going to use it for. Right? And I know where I'm going to put it until I use it. Now it's easy to save. Americans aren't incentivized to save. There's no reward there. There's no reward, there's no purpose, there's no vehicle for it. So we're told, right? So let me just give you this comparison. You put money in a bank account. What's the purpose of that? We're told, okay, well, it's an emergency fund. Who honestly wants to save for the purpose of having an emergency? I don't. That's demotivating. Like that's not a reason I want to save money. Okay, well, so the emergency is not something I want to save for. What about the rainy day? I don't even know what that means. Okay, I actually do, but that's what most people conclude to. The rainy day, it sounds really good, but you're like, wait, when it rains, it costs money? Like, why am I saving for a rainy day? Does that mean I'm bored and I'm going to go spend it? Like what? Like, I don't want to save for boredom and I don't want to save for something I don't understand. What about retirement? Save for retirement. I don't really want to retire. Okay, most Americans don't. Like retirement in this country is becoming a pipe dream. Very few people actually achieve that. So the average person is like, dude, I don't know why I'm saving money. Right? And rightfully so. Like the purpose of money is to be used. I either need to use it now or I need to accumulate it so I can use it in the future at some time. If I don't know when I'm going to use it in the future, then yeah, I'm just going to use it now. Just like with the food, the point of food is to be eaten. Unless you know you need food later and you've got a way to store it, you're not going to be like, I'm going to save some of my food and use it for another time. I'm just going to eat it now because it's there. That's what it's for. Right. So we can't really like make the individual wrong for using money for its intended purpose when it's like, yeah, money is there to be used either now or later. We don't know why to use it later, so let's use it now. Okay. So when we unplug this, we're like, okay, well, why are we saving? That's the first question. Why would somebody save? We would save to build financial independence. Okay, who here on this webinar has a job just because you need one? Not because it's what you love and it's what you would prefer to do with your time. You're doing it because you got to pay your bills somehow. And it's an acceptable method of doing that. Okay, I think that's awesome. I think it's very good to work. I think there's something to be said for producing. But the average person, if they didn't have to have a paycheck, I think they would be choosing to do something else with their time. Okay, they would want to do something that they're more passionate about, that's more maybe in line with their purpose. And so that means that, okay, well, if I don't have that scenario, then I'm stuck trading my time for money. That's one of the reasons we would save. What if you had enough income coming from investments that you did not have to trade your time for money anymore? And you could live a life of abundance and prosperity in all dynamics and do the things that matter to you. That's a reason to save, right? Who's ever had the experience of going into debt? And then you have this problem, like you have the interest and the debt, and it's not a great experience, right? The reason people go into debt is because they didn't have enough money saved. So that's a purpose for saving, is to buy future things that I don't have to go into debt for. So I'm not spending money that I don't have and putting myself in financial risk and putting myself at effect of these large banks and institutions. So I would save. So those are reasons to save. Now, then comes the vehicle. For me, it's not motivating to save in a bank account. Okay, I don't want to have money in a bank account. I just took money out of my bank account and put it into other things like 10 minutes before the webinar started because I was like, that's too much money in my bank account. I don't want that there. Right? I can have that working for me. So I move it, right? It's not going to go in a retirement account for me, right? I don't want to wait till I'm 60. And I'm certainly not going to give it all to the IRS. So what am I going to do? And so when I started looking at this problem as a financial advisor, I was like, where do wealthy people save? And I ran into like the whole, oh, savers are losers thing, but everyone that said that saved money, right? There's a very popular figure that said cash is trash. And then a month later does a video saying he's got $100 million of cash in his bank account. I'm like, dude, which one is it? Like it's trash. You get $100 million of it. Why are you saving? Right? And so the thing that we've got to look at is when wealthy people save, it's for the purpose of investing. And the top 1%, the wealthiest of the wealthy, they actually save in this kind of life insurance. Okay, here's some of the benefits. When you put money in here, it's guaranteed to grow. It's got guarantees against loss. Protected from taxation. Protected from creditors. Protection from lawsuits. Protection of privacy. We've got a tax-free death benefit. I'm actually an owner in the insurance company. The place I'm saving, they give me equity. I own this place now. I don't have that with a bank. I get a tax-free death benefit, which is more than what I have in savings. I've got a forced automated savings plan. I can take loans against my money, right? Like these are all things I get by using the Sacred account. These are the features. Now, why is this better? Why would this be better than the bank, right? I've got a higher rate of growth. So my growth here, I'm going to earn on this kind of an account about 3 to 5% per year, tax-free on average. Okay, now this is not based on the stock market. This is based on the insurance company. The insurance company guarantees minimal growth, and then in addition to that, they share their profits with me. I forgot to add this. Because I'm an equity owner, I get profit sharing or dividends. Right, so I'm earning about 3 to 5% per year tax-free on average every year for the rest of my life. Okay, that's a big deal. This goes till I'm 121 years old, unless I die sooner, at which point they pay out my death benefit. If I don't die, they're going to pay it all out to me anyways, tax-free. I'm going to make 3 to 5% of my money every year for the rest of my life. I don't have to guess about that. Okay, this is better than what I get at the bank. I get what, 0.01% at the bank. Okay, it's better than I get with a tax refund. I don't get anything with a tax refund. I actually lose on that. This is actually better than what I'm going to get with Wall Street. Dalbar, the mutual fund rating agency, one of the largest in the world, reported investors over the last 20 years averaged a 3.88% return after volatilities and fees. Before taxes, before inflation. Right? Once you factor in taxes and inflation, the average mutual fund investor lost money. Right? So I'm getting this, and I'm not having the fees with Wall Street. I don't have the dishonesty with Wall Street and the banks. I've got guarantees against loss. Okay, when I invest with a bank, my money's taxable. That's the difference. It's an advantage. I don't want to pay the taxes. Right? When I put money into a Wall Street mutual fund, unless it's in a tax shelter, it's also going to get taxed. When I pull it out from that plan, if I do a retirement plan, it's still going to get taxed. Okay, my money in a bank, it's not protected from creditors and lawsuits. Same thing with Wall Street. I don't have privacy protection. They report everything to the IRS at the bank and with the Wall Street groups. Okay, I don't get a death benefit. With this, I get a death benefit that pays out to my loved ones. They're not giving me ownership in the bank. I'm not getting ownership in the mutual fund company that builds the fund. I'm getting ownership in the fund. Yeah, but I don't get ownership in the company offering it. That's where the real money is. Right? I'm getting profit sharing and dividends. I did the death benefit twice here. But the thing here is, I'm also on a forced savings plan. Okay, I don't have that with a bank. I can do that with Wall Street, but now I can't use the money. Like this is, I can use money now. I'm going to say take loans to use money now. Okay, I need to use the money now. Money is there to be used. I need to use it now to build wealth, to make progress with my finances. It's a resource. It's a tool. It's a medium of exchange. Right? So what about the loan thing? When I have an asset, and I'm going to go over this very quickly so you can see the beauty of this system. When I have an asset, the two things I never want to have happen with that asset is, number one, I never want it to go away. If it's paying me, why would I ever want it to go away? And I never want it to be taxed. Okay. So what happens when you sell an asset? Let's say I have money in an asset and now I need cash. So I pull the money out of the asset. What did I just do? My asset just went away. I'm no longer going to earn growth or profit or anything on that asset because it's gone now. Right? Now, the other thing that happens is if it's a gain, I'm going to be taxed. If I made money on it, as soon as I sell it or withdraw, I'm going to pay the taxes. An example being, I have money in a retirement plan. I withdraw that money to live on. That money is no longer there. I sold those assets. My balance went down. Okay. Second thing is, That's now a taxable transaction. The IRS is going to say, we want our cut. Right? This happens anytime I do a distribution or a sale of an asset where I made profit. So when I take a loan against an asset, I'm actually solving both of these problems. When I borrow against an asset, I'm never selling it, so the asset never goes away. If the asset never goes away, it keeps on growing even while I use it because I'm taking loans against it rather than actually taking the thing out itself, right? Because I took a loan, it's not taxable. That is not a taxable transaction. So I'm not having the asset leave, and I'm also not paying the taxes. That's the best thing in both worlds. I'm getting both of these with the sacred account, right? And so an example of this looks like this, guys. I like to use this example just to sketch it out. Okay, so let's say I have $1,000 and I deposit this into my sacred account, right? And this is year 1. And I go, let's say to year 10. We go year 5 here. Okay, so I put $1,000 in. So the first thing that's going to happen is this $1,000 is going to grow at 3 to 5% tax-free. Right, and then I have all these protections and benefits, all the stuff I just mentioned in that huge list. Right, so I'm getting all this on my $1,000 that went in. Now, my $1,000 is growing at 3 to 5%, has all these different protections and benefits. Simultaneously, I can borrow against my $1,000, and I can borrow 70 to 90% of that money. My cost to borrow will be about a 1 to 3% cost of interest if I do this correctly per year, right? And so what's happening is I have $1,000 growing at 3 to 5%. I can borrow 70 to 90. So let's say I borrow $800 just to be down the middle on the math. I'm paying 1 to 3% interest. So let's call that 2%. That's my cost is -2. And I'm using this money now that I'm paying 2% on, this $800, to do what? I can pay off debt. I can make large purchases. Or I can invest. Now, what's happening? I have 8% or $800 at 2% interest cost, but I've got $1,000 still earning 3 to 5. Let's just call this 4. Again, just to be right down the middle on the numbers. So I have $1,000 growing at 4%. While it's growing at 4% simultaneously, I'm borrowing $800 of my own money at 2%. That's a positive spread. You see that 4 minus 2, I'm making positive 2% to use my own money. Now down here, let's say I pay off debt and I'm saving 20% interest on a credit card. I've now made money here too. I'm making money in both locations. Or let's say I purchase a vehicle. Instead of paying interest and payments to a bank, I'm paying it out to my bank, myself, my policy, my sacred account. I'm making money on that. So again, I'm double dipping. I've got money growing here and I've got money growing here. Or I invest in real estate for passive income. Same thing. I'm making, let's say 8 to 12% on this. And then I'm making 4% over here. That's the benefit of the sacred account. So before we get into the mechanics of what I want to show you today, I want to just give you some proof here, some individuals and groups that are currently using this. Okay, so for one, I use this strategy myself. I've got thousands of clients that do. But if we just look right now, over 3,000 banks in the US currently use this system, right? Like you look at the banks, Bank of America, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citi, like all these groups, this is who's using this right now, PIMCO. There's over $200 billion collectively in this strategy. With all the banks in the country, over 3,000 banks, over $200 billion collectively are in the cash values of high early cash value dividend paying whole life insurance or the sacred account. The exact thing that I just told you, right? Why do I tell you this? Because right now you're probably putting your money with a bank. They're taking your money and they're putting a portion of that into the exact thing that I just showed you. We already know they're doing it, right? Like you can go look, it's called BOLI, bank-owned life insurance. Go Google it. You will see all the charts and all the numbers and all the everything, right? They have lots of money here. So you're giving it to them so that they can put it here and then pay you nothing. Why? Like, why not just cut them out of the middle and you just go do the life insurance thing yourself? Why give it to them so that they can get the benefits, so that they can use it? Haven't they gotten enough? Didn't they get enough in 2020 when we all got $1,200 and they got thousands of dollars in bailouts? Didn't they get enough in 2008 when they took your house and they got paid bailout bonuses and used it to pay themselves instead of handle the situation and help the people they screwed over? Didn't they get enough when they crashed the market in 2000 and took everyone's money again? We have to stand up to these guys. And the way you do it is not picketing outside with their offices and saying how angry you are. The way you do it is you go become your own bank. You stop using their system. That's the greatest way of enforcing justice on this that you can possibly take, is quit using them. Right? If all of us stopped using it today, the system would fail. These guys would have zero power anymore. Right? So take responsibility for yourself. I don't like this. Good. Change it. If you're saying, I don't like this, but I'm not going to change it, there's something you like about it. You're not going to stay in an area you don't like. So if you're staying there, no matter how much you complain, there is something you like and agree with. And to the degree you're staying is the degree that you have that affinity and reality with that thing. Otherwise, you wouldn't still be in communication with it. So I'm saying, I don't want like the bank thing. I don't want the Wall Street thing. I don't agree with the tax refund. Good. Quit being in communication with it. Quit using it. Cut the communication. Decide, I don't like them anymore. I'm not going to be in the same space. I'm not going to keep sending them money. I'm done. I've cut them out of my life. And if enough of us do that, we can change this. Right? Now, even if we don't change it in the entire country or globe, you can change it in your life. The root definition of the word economy means the personal household. So if you don't like them, the first place you should start is your own life. I'm going to start today in my own finances, becoming my own bank by using the sacred account. Right? Now, here's the problem. Most people look at this and they're like, how do I do that? So we're going to teach you how to do that. But I want to show you a couple more people that use this. Joe Biden has 6 of these. Like the president of the United States currently has 6 life insurance policies like this. Theodore Roosevelt. If I can spell my buddy Theo's name here. Theodore Roosevelt. We had the Rockefellers, Foster Farms, J.C. Penney, Walt Disney, Ray Kroc, Pampered Chef. Like we can go on and on. These are all people throughout history that use this. These are not your financial advisor. This is not your buddy at work. This is not your brother-in-law at Thanksgiving dinner table talking about finance. These are some of the wealthiest and most influential people in United States history. Historically. And then we've got the place you give your money to that also uses this. How many hints do we need? How come more people don't know about it? It doesn't matter. These are the people that need to. Right? I'm not asking how come more don't know about it. I'm asking which people know about it. Okay, more doesn't mean better. More means the masses. The masses are going to McDonald's for dinner tonight. I don't want that. Which people know about it? Rockefeller knows about it. Roosevelt knows about it. Penny knows about it. Disney, Kroc, Pampered Chef, like the guy that I'm giving my money to right now knows about it. So those are the people who do. I want to be part of that group. I want to be in the group that's winning with this strategy, right? So this is something you can use to build reserves, to get out of debt, to fund your future, to invest for passive income, to put your kids through college, to leave a tax-free death benefit legacy so that your family starts out where you left off, right? This is one of the most versatile and powerful strategies out there, but we've got to use it correctly. Okay, now I want to take a real quick break and answer some questions. Really quickly again, if you're watching and you have not gotten a copy of my book, do so now, right? So I want you to go to jerryfetta.com/B2F promo. Okay, go to jerryfetta.com/B2F promo. Get the book now. It's free. You just cover your own shipping. We'll send it out to you. And then you can start getting more information on this. We've got like 10, 15 minutes left. We're not going to cover everything today. We're going to give you enough to realize this is a good idea. I should do it. That's the point of this webinar, so that you have the realization, this makes sense. This can help me. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take control of my future. Like we're done with, we should do this. We ought to do that. Okay. Like quit being a should head. Shouldn't. I should do this. I should really set this up. I should really change my finances. I should. Then you never do. You're covered in your own should. right? Like quit being a shithead, be a doer. I intend to do this, then I do it. Right? Like the should doesn't mean anything. Like nobody's fooling me with that. I've been doing this for like 12 years. When someone says I should, to me, that means, okay, cool, they're not gonna. You're either gonna do this or you're not. So grab the book, get set up with a consultation. If Joe reached out to you or Rodrigo or Brianna reached out to you in the chat, I want you to message them back right now. So check your chat. Okay, the chat, if you click down below, you'll see the chat and it'll light up if somebody sent you a message. So I want you to check your message and I want you to respond to Rodrigo or Brianna or Joe or whoever it was that reached out to you from my staff and tell them, hey, I want to set up an appointment. I want to learn more about this. Okay. And ask questions. Be skeptical if you need to learn. Like I want you engaged. This is your decision. This is not me telling you and you're in the back of the trunk tied up with a gag and you're no. This is you saying, hey, I want to take control of my finances and drive. And I'm saying, good, here's the manual and here's my team. We're going to help you do it. Right? Rodrigo was a client first. He'll vouch firsthand. I was a client. They helped me and I joined their staff because of the help I got. Brianna, same thing. She was a client first. She said, this is awesome. I'm going to get licensed. I'm going to start working with them as well. I want to help other people. You're working with people that have firsthand successful experience with this. Right? Same thing with me, guys. I worked with Dave Ramsey. I don't know if you know about Dave Ramsey's stance on whole life insurance. Dave Ramsey is a financial guru. He thinks that whole life insurance is the devil. Okay. And I was an endorsed local provider for Dave Ramsey in 8 different states for years. Okay. I thought this was the devil also. Like whatever Dave said, I said. That was my opinion. I was a yes man. Dave Ramsey was the talking head and I was a little hand puppet. Right. And so once I saw this, I was like, hey, there's no way this is real. Right, I was like, this has got to be fake. There's no way this can be real. This has got to be like some scam or it's, made up. And so as I looked more and more into it, then I realized, damn, my bank uses this. The people that I've been reading biographies about use this. Right, all the stuff that I see and I'm looking at it, and at some point I have to realize either I'm incorrect or they're incorrect. Who has the higher stats? Okay, if I'm in like a disagreement or a point of like I don't know if this is the right thing, I just need to look at the stats. What are my stats? What are their stats? Okay, JP Morgan has higher stats than me in finances, so to that degree, he's more right than I am. His opinion is more valid on the subject. Right? I'm that type of guy. Like if I don't have the stats, I'm not emotionally attached to my opinion, and so I spent a lot of years looking at okay, well, who's winning with this? And I saw it works. Right now. On to the questions, because I could keep going off on tangents. There's so much to talk about on this subject. We had a couple of people sign up. That's awesome. Take the momentum, guys. We have people right now in the comments that are signing up. They're grabbing the book. They're scheduling appointments. Don't be the person that thought you should have and then didn't. Worst case scenario, the book is like $10 and you're like, I don't like this. Good. It was $10. You're going to waste $10 at Starbucks this week. Right? Or you do a phone call that was free and it was 15 minutes of your time. You're going to waste 15 minutes scrolling mindlessly on social media, right? Like jump in the driver's seat and start taking control of your finances. I believe in you. I know you can do it. It's going to just take that little, like, I want to set up a call. I'm going to put in my info and get the book. Good. It looks like we've got a few people that ordered just now. Okay, so Clemente has a question. What would it look like if I'm starting my Sacred account today? So Clemente, that's a great question. So what that's going to look like is setting up a call with Rodrigo or with Brianna. So Rod or Brianna, send Clemente a message. That's going to be the first thing that's going to look like. And then just letting them know, hey, here's what I'm working on financially. Okay, be very honest with them. Like we can't help someone if they're not willing to tell us the truth about what's going on. Guys, I've seen it all. I've been doing this for 10 years. Right? More than 10. I think it's like 12 years now. So I've seen it all. There's nothing you're going to tell me and my team where we're like, oh, you have credit card debt? Shame on you. Like we've seen so much credit card debt, you wouldn't believe it. Or, oh, you lost money in investments. We don't care. We've seen so much stuff. Right? So tell us what's going on. Hey, I'm not making enough money, or I've got debt, or maybe I'm winning and I want to go to the next level faster. So set up that call with Rodrigo or with Brianna, right? And they're going to help you. And then you're going to want to sign up, right? So the sign up, you pay an initial fee of $500. You get what you get with that, by the way, is you're getting 6 months of access to Wealth Dynamics University. Okay. No other company has this. It's over 400 segments personally put together by myself and my team on everything you can think of financially. Okay. The other thing is you're going to get 6 of our books. You're going to get How to Create Wealth, Blueprint to Financial Freedom, and then you're going to get 4 of our Big 3 Challenge journals. Literally, guys, this journal will change your life with finances. Okay. You're also going to get a one-on-one coaching call with my team. And then you're going to get concierge service on setting up your sacred account. Generally, when you do a life insurance policy, they send you a link, you figure out all the difficult questions and the applications and blah, 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 blah. And so what we do is we actually do all that for you. You're going to do a welcome call with our team. You're going to do a consultation with someone that's going to do the entire application with you. You're going to get pushed through underwriting. Once your policy is done, you get unlimited access to our mapping team. Okay, so you want to take a policy loan, our mapping team is going to help you with that. You want to invest, our mapping team is going to show you the strategy there. Right? You want to pay off debt, our mapping team is going to help you with that. You get unlimited concierge on-demand service for that. So that's what comes with that setup fee. Plus, then you're funding your account. Okay, so send a message to Brianna or Rodrigo and schedule that call, Clemente. All right, we got looks like Chantel got the book. That's awesome, Chantel. Nick scheduled a call. That's great. Chantel says I'm in Canada. So we actually service Canada. If you guys didn't know this, we do have an agency in Canada now. We expanded. So Chantel, set up a call. We can definitely set you up with Canada. We have an agency in Canada. We've got some of our top executives actually in the Vancouver area. So we can help you in Canada, we can help you in the United States, we can help you in Puerto Rico. Those are really the areas that we're working in right now. All right, let me see what other questions we have here. Lots of good questions and comments. So the link, James asks, what's the link again? So the link for the book is you go to jerryfetta.com/B2F promo. If we can have Joe post that in the chat one more time, and I'll pull that up towards the end again. Alex, I've seen one video with Jerry before I bought his book. That's awesome, Alex. Alex, we should get you on your sacred account if you've not set that up. Brianna or Rod, if you want to message Alex Murphy and get him a free consultation. We have someone that has a question regarding a retirement rollover. So we can do retirement rollovers. So if you have a rollover happening, you've got old money in an IRA, a 401k, or whatever, and it's from an old retirement account, let us know. Plus, we recently got a service that allows you to take your active retirement plan and use that to invest in things like gold, silver, real estate, private lending, while it's still with your employer with no penalties and no taxes. So if you have an active plan and you've got more than 50 grand in your active plan and you have an online login, that's one of the keys. Reach out to us and we can get you a consultation to see if we're able to get that handled for you. And then you can get that earning passive income. Okay, let's see if we have any other questions here. I want to open multiple sacred accounts. What's the max we're allowed for each account? So that's a great question. You can open multiple sacred accounts. The max you're going to be able to put in per year on a scheduled basis is about 25% of your income. Okay, so 25% of your income. And I'll go ahead and just show you the minimums and maximums. Okay, so these are the rules with this. So to fund my account for the minimums, it's going to be the greater of 2 different things. Greater of 10% of lump sum, or 10 times age per month if you're under age 60, or it's going to be 15 times age per month if you're over 60 years old, 60 or over. Right. So example of that, I'm putting in 100 grand. Let's say as a lump sum, I've got 100 grand. I'm like, I'm going to go do real estate. Good. So I put in 100 grand. My annual contribution needs to be at least $10,000 per year. That's 10% of my lump sum. Or it's going to be the greater of the 2, or 10 times my age per month. I'm 30, so that's a minimum of 300 a month. Right. So 10,000 a year is greater than 300 a month. So I need to do 10,000 a year. Okay, let's say that I am 65 years old and I want to set up an account. 65 years old times 15, my age, that's $975 a month. That's the minimum I need to put in. Right? So these are how the minimums work. Now, at a maximum, it's going to be about 25% of income. So if I make 100 grand, the most I'm going to be able to do is put in 25,000 per year. So the minimum would be greater, or 10% of my lump sum, or 10 times my age if I'm under age 60. Maximum being 25% of my income. Right now, as my income grows, I can open more policies. Right, and let's say I don't start with the max. Let's say I start with 300 a month because I'm 30. Right, well, max is 10% of my income. As my savings grow, I can open up more accounts. There's no limit on how many accounts you're allowed to have. It's just based on your income. So that's a great question there. All right, let's see what other questions we have. All right, lots of good stuff here. So we answered that question on the maximums. Why is it called a sacred account over the super long term? It's just preference. It's hard for people to remember high early cash value, dividend paying whole life insurance. So we call it the sacred account. And the reason we call it the sacred account is it is sacred. Right? When you hear the word sacred, that means it's set apart. Right? You don't use it for everything. It's like sacred. If you have, a sacred temple, not everyone's allowed in the temple. Right? You have a sacred cloth. You don't wipe your sweat with it. Right? This is not just a bank account or a savings account or a retirement account. It's a sacred account. It's used for an intended purpose. And so that's why we call it that. And it's also shorter than saying the entire word there. Whole life is the same as index universal life. No, it is not. I would never offer, sell, or put money into index universal life. You could pay me to sell that stuff, and they do pay people to sell that stuff. Scott, I'm working with 20,000 agents. Reach out to me for potential opportunity for both of us. American Capital Life. Appreciate you. Scott, send me a message if you're interested in connecting. We'd love to see what you're looking to do for your agents there. Okay. Yeah, so if you're doing research and you research the sacred account, you're not going to find anything but our stuff. We're the only ones that call it that. So if you look up high early cash value life insurance, if you look up the infinite banking concept, bank owned life insurance, corporate owned life insurance, those are all the Google type terms that you're going to see stuff that's not from my company. Christopher, I saw in the book the website to get money. How to go about that? So Christopher, go to missing money. If you Google missing money, that's going to bring you to the website. You'll find out if you're owed cash by different government agencies. So you can check that out. Clement says restarting. Pardon me, I'll set up a call. Great. Restarting is fine. And again, it's all about speed. Does a med exam come with the life insurance? I have no history or evidence of dealing with hospitals or medical doctors. So there is a medical exam with the life insurance. Yes. What whole life insurance companies do you work with? So we work with a handful, only the very best ones. So our company, what happens is when you sign up with us, our agency partner, the Money Multiplier, they help us shop the policy for you independently with 5 or 6 different carriers based on your goal and your design. So we're generally going to be looking at Guardian. We're going to be looking at Penn Mutual. We're going to be looking at Security Mutual, Lafayette Life, One America. Those are kind of the main 5. Mass Mutual doesn't want to do the sacred account or the infinite banking concept anymore, so we don't use that anymore. Would I be able to do a rollover tax? Would I be able to roll over a tax return into a sacred account? Yes, Clemente, that is a way that you could use to fund an account. So reach out to us on that as well. Just almost a meg. That's true. Good. Any other questions here? Good. That's all the questions I see. Let me see if we have anything on the Q&A. No, good. Okay, guys, I'm always terrible at this. So there's one concept I did want to show you this week, and it's something I came up with on the speed thing. And it was a realization I had that I think really is important to cover. And I'm going to just spend the last couple minutes going over this, right? So here we have time. This is a chart. We have time here. We have, let me make sure I've got this written correctly, actually. I sketched this out, so I'm making sure I've got it duplicated the way I drew it. Okay, we have time here, we have money here, and then we have bad decisions here. Right, so we've got more bad decisions, more money, more time. So this is how this works, and this is the importance of moving with speed through our program. When I get more money over a longer period of time, the bad decisions that I make with finances increase. Right? Like what happens? People get lots of money. They usually are going to do what? They're going to blow it. They're going to get rid of it. They're going to make bad decisions. Because we're advertised and marketed to. So the way you solve this, like think about this. If someone got $1 million and they had it for a long time, we even have a phrase for that. We call it money burning a hole in your pocket. Right? There's even like a coined name for it. So the more time we add with more money, the more bad decisions we make. Okay. So what is the solution here? Right? The solution is we do more with money in less time. Right? We're not in the bad decision zone. Right? So we get more money, we don't include time, and we just include, let's move through our blueprint. Right? The faster we have, the more speed we run with, the more progress we're going to make. Okay, so we use speed. Now, where does speed come from? Speed comes from certainty and education. So the more I learn about finances, the more I do the same things over and over and over again, the more speed I have, the further I can go. Right? Think about anything you're familiar with. You're familiar with it and you're fast with it because you've done it a lot, right? So like, for example, I was helping someone building landing pages today. I'm very quick with it. Why? Because I've done so many of them. Right? A newer person, they've not done so many, so they don't go as quick. They've got to get that repetition under their belt. Do it over and over and over and over and over. This applies to finances. If you're driving your car, going somewhere familiar where you don't need a GPS, well, why are you able to get there so easily without a GPS? Because you've done it so many times. Right? So with money, we have to have the right education so that I understand, right? We've got to have the right tools, right? If I have bad tools, like for example, let's say my pen doesn't work, it's going to take me longer to write and there's going to be more mistakes. Okay, so if I want the speed, I get the right tools, I got the right knowledge, I've drilled, I've practiced so that I have that speed. And then part of speed is deciding to be fast. Deciding it's not okay to be slow. It's not okay to add time to the equation, right? And I want to end on this note because this is the fence sitter. If you're on the fence today, you've not made a decision yet that you're going to improve your finances. Well, I need to do research. I need to take more time. No, you don't. You've already done research. You've already taken your time. Most of the bad decisions you made, you didn't do this much due diligence. You didn't take this much time. So move quick. Okay, money moves in an economy at the same rate that economy expands. When money slows down, an economy contracts. It goes into a recession. When the velocity of money increases, it moves faster. That economy moves faster, right? So what do you need to do to move faster? Is it that you have zero knowledge and you're like, this is all new and I feel like I'm blind and I don't know what I'm doing? Go get the knowledge and spend a lot of time in a very short period getting the knowledge. Compress it, don't drag it out, right? Same thing, I've got the knowledge, I'm still slow. Okay, good. Well, do you have the wrong tools? Right, the wrong tools, the wrong team. You could go set up a life insurance policy with someone else. Doesn't mean that it's going to do what we said it's going to do today. Doesn't mean that they've got the same philosophy. Doesn't mean they're going to educate you. Doesn't mean they're going to service you on the back end. So do I have the right tools and the right team? Because that's going to speed me up or slow me down. Okay, and then drilling. Have I done it enough? I need to do it over and over and over and repeat over and over and over until I have full certainty. Like the realm of things that I do on a day-to-day basis are very similar from day to day, and I'm very good at them because of that. Every day I have pretty much the same types of things I do, and that's how it's been for the last decade. And that's why I'm very good at those things. And money works that way. Right? So I need to get the knowledge. If I don't have it, and this is what it comes down to. Am I willing, able, and ethical? If you're willing, able, and ethical, I can help you. If you're not willing, I can't help you. I had a guy yesterday, got on a one-on-one call with me somehow and told me he wants to do a sacred account. And I'm like, good, well, you're on the phone with Jerry Fetta. You have my time right now. You owe me a sacred account. We're setting up one right now. He's like, I can't. I've only got $12 to my name. And he wasn't being truthful, but I was like, dude, it either matters or it doesn't. If you've only got $12 to your name, this is why you need to do this. You've put yourself with your own methodology and your own thinking in the position of only having $12. So quit relying on that system. It doesn't work. It results in only having $12 and you being too broke to do a sacred account with probably one of the #1 people that can help you with it. Right? Like we got to get rid of that. Okay, and then we move forward. We start adding speed and we decide I'm going to be fast. I'm going to make progress. So I want to wrap up on this note, guys. Again, one more time. If you have not gotten the book, I want you to go to my website here. You can get a free copy of it. You just cover your shipping. Okay, again, that is going to be jerryfetta.com/B2F promo. You can get that there, free shipping, and we'll send it out to you. And then again, guys, hook up on a call with Brianna, with Rodrigo. They're going to help you with your sacred account, with your questions, and you'll be able to get all of that set up. I don't see any other questions. And then I do have one more webinar today, guys. So if you're watching this today, you got time this evening, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, 5 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to be talking to you. This webinar will be different. It's going to be about personal development. You have to grow your stuff, right? Like we talk all about financial tools and sacred accounts and all this stuff. But this afternoon, I'm going to talk about 5 p.m. Eastern time, James. Let me see if I can find the link for this really quick because I want to make sure we give that to everyone. Just so we're not like go to the webinar and then you don't have a way to get there. Yeah, here's the link. Let me drop this in the. Oh, Joe already did. Joe's the man. Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Isn't Joe great? So round of applause for Joe today. Joe's awesome. So that webinar, that's going to be 5 p.m. Eastern time today. Okay. One of the things that I'm very big on is personal development. I've always been big on it since I was 18 years old. Right, I had a mentor of mine. He walked up to me. We get a CD, like a compact disc, and he said, "Listen to this." Okay, and I was like, "Why?" Right in my head, I'm like, "Why?" But this guy made $500,000 a year, so I was like, "Okay, I'm not going to ask him. I'm just going to listen to it and see what happens." And it was one of the greatest things I ever did because it was the first time that I had heard self-improvement. How do you grow as an individual? How do you make yourself better? You are the lid on your own life, and everything in your life is an extension of you. Your condition, if you're not doing well financially, is because you're not doing well spiritually. If you're not doing well with a relationship to that degree, you're not doing well spiritually. If you're doing really well to that degree, you're doing really well spiritually. If I'm wealthy with my finances, I'm wealthy spiritually too. That's how it works. And this is not the law of attraction and energy and mysticism and all this weird stuff. It's just how it works. So today I'm going to be doing that webinar at 5 p.m. to teach you what I've done. Like this actually is what I've done. This is actually where I invest the majority of my time and money to grow myself because it matters, right? So I don't want to just talk about finances all the time. I want to do these like here behind the scenes. Here's what I do. Here's how I grow. Here's how I improve myself. That's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Otherwise, guys, I think that is all we've got for today. Again, register for the webinar, get the book, set up a call with Rod or with Brianna. I am going to sign the meeting off and I'm going to leave Joe in charge. So I'm not going to close the meeting down. I'm going to leave Joe in charge and I'll leave you guys in there so you can network. Brianna and Rod will stay in with you too and just get as many appointments as they can. And if you're a current client, I really want you to schedule with them. Okay, I'm talking to Matt, Nicholas, who else do we have? Clemente, Jamie, like schedule with them just to catch up. Let us know where you're at with your progress. We can help you move faster, but we've got to be in communication and understand where you are right now and what your next step is so we can strategize with you on what's next. Okay, so especially current clients, schedule with Rod, schedule with Brianna. I'll go ahead and wrap up here. Thank you guys for watching today. Have a great weekend. I'll see you in a few hours and we'll catch you next time.